Okay, this is an article out of the Israel National News. It's by Hillel Findel, and the article is Obama advisor has warm words for Saudi Arabia, Hezbollah, and of course the Palestinians. John Brennan, a Deputy National Security Advisor for Homeland Security, called Jerusalem Al-Quds, which is the Arabic name, and he praised Saudi Arabian religious tolerance and his encouraging of Hezbollah. It's unbelievable. But okay, let me go on. The Zionist Organization of America, ZOA, has drawn attention to the above three instances of recent remarks by one of Barack Obama's U.S. President, of course, top terrorism issue advisors, calling them outrageous and disgraceful. Speaking to an apparently Muslim audience at New York University in February, and I am an alumni of New York University, let me tell you, I'm disgusted, New York University. I am disgusted. At a forum co-hosted by the White House in the Islamic Center at New York University, Brennan first told the story in Arabic, evoking laughter and concluding with, "Don't tell the folks who don't speak Arabic what I said." Then he said that his favorite city in the Middle East was Al-Quds, which is the Arabic for Jerusalem. In the same speech, Brennan also spoke at his time at the American University in Cairo in the 1970s, referring to the common aspirations of his former Egyptian, Jordanian, and Palestinian classmates. I like to call them misplaced Jordanians, including the freedom to practice our faith freely in Saudi Arabia. This is a place, what he's trying to say is he's practicing his faith freely, and there's no Jews or Christians, no Jews or Christians allowed in Mecca and Medina, and we allow, of course, these people free reign in our major cities. Mecca and Medina, of course, are in Saudi Arabia. Now, practice their faith freely, and how our Saudi partners fulfilled their duty as custodians of the two holy mosques. This is in Mecca and Medina, like I just spoke. In another speech before Lebanese leaders who visited Washington recently, Brennan told them Hezbollah is a very interesting organization, and said that it has evolved from a purely terrorist organization to a militia, and now an organization that has members within the parliament and the cabinet. There are certainly the elements of Hezbollah that are truly a concern to us of what they're doing, Brennan said. And what we need to do is find ways to diminish their influence within the organization and try to build up the more moderate elements. The head of the organization is Nasrallah. He's a devout terrorist. This guy is unbelievable with the rhetoric that he comes up with. I mean, his mind is defective. The ZOA, Zionist Organization of America, noted that Hezbollah is actually a Lebanese-Iranian proxy terrorist group, and it is called continually for the elimination of Israel. God forbid. These comments by John Brennan are outrageous, and they are deeply troubling. And this is Mort Klein said, the ZOA's national president. No one refers to Jerusalem in the English language as Al-Quds unless they have specific political anti-Israel agenda. In this case, pandering to Israel's enemies, who will also draw comfort from the use of the term Al-Quds by a senior U.S. government official. Klein termed disgraceful the fact that Mr. Brennan's pandering is taken so far that he speaks of some supposed shared goal of freedom of religious practice, and then immediately refers in complimentary words to Saudi Arabia, a country that's notorious for its harsh denial of freedom of religion, in which even non-Wahhabi Muslim mosques are prohibited, let alone churches and synagogues. So Saudi Arabia, they're extremists. They only allow a certain extreme form of Muslim to be, to have their particular brand of their religion and nothing moderate, and of course, no churches and no synagogues. Regarding Brennan's comments about Hezbollah, Klein said, worse, Brennan gives unwarranted legitimacy to the recognized terrorist group Hezbollah. They are on the American terror list. They have not been taken off of this list, Mr. Brennan. Do you, actually you do, support terrorists, Mr. Brennan? I call for your removal from the American government, Mr. Brennan. Now, he undercuts the past U.S. efforts to isolate this murderous outfit. Klein sums up that John Brennan is yet another hand-picked Obama advisor who shows a distinct animus against Israel and particularly for its enemies. It is unsurprising that when Barack Obama is advised by people like this, apart from being from the president's own troubling history of friendships with vicious critics of Israel, and having belonged to for 2 decades, Barack Obama was the member of Reverend Wright's church, an anti-Israel and anti-American church, a black supremacist church, whose leader was friends with Minister Farrakhan, another Muslim extremist. The Obama administration has ignited major tensions in its relations with Israel by not holding accountable and penalizing the Palestinian Authority. I like to, of course, call them misplaced Jordanians, for continuing terrorism, incitement, and hatred to murder. So I just want to speak, and that's the article, and I just want to speak real briefly that there already is a Palestinian state. The Palestinian state is Jordan. What happened back several decades ago now, the British had control after the Ottoman Empire fell, the Turkish Ottoman Empire. They had control of what's called the British Mandate. So please look it up for yourself. And this British Mandate area was basically what is now known as Transjordan, which is an illegitimate country. But let's just say for a moment, Jordan and Israel. Now, the property was given and split. 2/3 of the property was given to Jordan, with the people that slithered into the West Bank. Where'd they come from? They came from Jordan. They're basically Jordanian. I mean, their relatives are in Jordan, and these people that are in Judea and Samaria, the non-Jews that are there, are basically from Jordan. So, please take them back. We certainly don't want them. So the bottom line is that there is a Palestinian state, and the Palestinian state is called Jordan. And if these people who are living in Judea and Samaria don't like Israel, then move home. Go back home. And even Israeli Arabs that have citizenship in Israel that continue to cause problems. If you don't like it, go to Syria. Go to Lebanon. Go to Jordan. Go to Egypt. There's 22 Arab nations, Muslim nations. Go there. And if you take the OIC, there are 57 Muslim states. So there's several places for you unhappy people to go. So just, pack your bags and leave. Leave our country, leave Israel. Israel's God's gift to the Jews. Over 3,000 years of history. We're not planning on leaving. In fact, more of us are planning on going to Israel, making Aliyah. There will never be a repatriation of Arabs to Israel. And there will just be a burgeoning population of Jews who are in Israel now, will continue to multiply, and Jews from all over the world will continue to go into Israel. So Israel more and more become even more to the right as far as Jewish policy goes, according to left and right politics as you see now today. But at some point Israel and the people of Israel will accept upon themselves, when they realize the democracy is not a Jewish idea. Democracy is Thomas Jefferson. It is not Judaism. And they'll realize that they need to accept God's laws, which are perfect laws, which are absolute laws, which are laws ordained from heaven, that God blessed us with, and we should uphold as a Kiddush Hashem, which is basically honoring God, and the Torah, which is pure and beautiful and absolute. May we see speedily in our days a true Jewish nation and a Jewish government.